Hello, this is a short lesson on Latin demonstrative pronouns. To review, a pronoun is a word which stands in the place of, or stands for, that's the pro part, stands for a noun, in place of a noun. Different kinds of pronouns. We will be covering in this lesson the demonstrative pronouns, which example this, the plural these. This is something that is close by, plural these things which are close by. This is opposed to that. That is over there, plural those things over there. Other types of pronouns. Personal pronouns, pronouns denoting person, like I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. Relative pronouns, which relate back to an antecedent, a noun, and the relative pronouns give more information about that noun. They introduce relative clauses. They are who and neuter which. The intensive, otherwise called the emphatic pronouns. So X, you insert the personal pronoun here in the accusative. So himself, myself, herself, and the plural themselves. The reflexive, oof, English, this is a little awkward. It's pretty much the exact same in form as the intensive and emphatic pronoun, and students often get these two confused. There will be a lesson later on how to tell the difference between the two. And indefinite pronouns, so someone or something in the neuter, or anyone, anything, also in the neuter. Okay? Demonstrative pronouns. From the Latin demonstro, demonstrare, demonstravi, demonstratus, which means to point out a monstrum, something that appears. These words point out a person or an object. They are usually pronouns and they are introduced as such, but they may also act as adjectives. So if they act as adjectives, they will agree with a noun in gender, number, and in case. So for example, video illum puerum. I see illum puerum. Illum agrees with the noun puerum in gender, number, and case. It is acting as an adjective. But illum can act by itself. If we get rid of the word puerum and just have video illum, that means I see that guy over there, far away. So they can act as substantives, as pronouns. I see that one, that. And then, of course, the gender can tell you what substantive noun to supply. Pronouns, that's just when the word is acting by itself, like video eum, I see him. The main difference between the pronouns illum and eum and hic is that hic and ille point out the location of the thing, whereas is ea id does not. So illum puerum, it's that boy over there far away. That's his location. He's far away. As opposed to video eum, I see him. We really don't know where he is, where he is located. All right, let's look at some morphology, at some forms, because, hey, that's why you're here. You love charts. So, is, ea, id. We'll start with the non-locative demonstrative pronoun, the one that does not show a specific location. That's opposed to hic and ille, where hic points out something that is close by, far away, and ille points out something that is far away, over there. So this one, is, ea, id, there is no specific location being used. So it can be translated with the English either this or that, with no location being implied. So I saw this guy, I saw that girl, I saw that thing, I saw this thing, and this thing was pretty weird, let me tell you. But that thing was odd. And I'm not really pointing out where the thing is, but that thing over there, I'm emphasizing the location of the thing. All right, so let's look at some forms. Is, ea, id. The masculine is is, the feminine is ea, and the neuter is id. So here's how you go about this. You just got to say the forms over and over again, write them down over and over again, practice, practice, practice. But here's practically in all sort of pragmatic and practical fashion, how you decline these pronouns, because they got the word noun in them, they also decline. So we have is. Originally, this probably was s, es. And you can see the stem stays. The stem stays as an e. So we have is, ellos. These are heteroclites. Is, hic, and ille are heteroclites. What you call me? That means that the genitive ends in an ius and the dative singular ends in an I. So it's ellos, ellos. And in the Middle Ages, this I becomes a J. Ellos. The dative is ei. The accusative is eum. Hey, look, And then the ablative is eo. Look, o. And then ei, eorum, eis, eos, eis. So in keeping with second declension masculine endings, apart from these guys, o, e, orum, is, os, is should sound pretty familiar. So the masculine, the nominative you memorize because you memorize the dictionary entry in your vocab. The genitive shows the heteroclite ius, the dative shows the heteroclite I, and then it's all normal time. O, e, orum, is, os, is. Don't worry too much about the difference between ae and ee or eis and eis. Some authors prefer one over the other. Caesar prefers eis and ee. I think Cicero prefers eis. It really doesn't matter. You get to pick, as long as you use the right is ending. So that is the masculine. So it means this masculine thing, that masculine thing, or it can just simply mean he. And check out the English pronoun he. It still declines. This is one of the few places in English where English still declines. We don't say the pronoun I throughout its entire declension. We don't say I go to store. You see I. You give present to I. We decline I. We change I. I am going to the store. You see me. You are giving the present to me. Well, he is going to the store. It's his present. The present is for him. Look at him. We're walking with him, because the ablative can be translated so many different ways. We just put the ... here. Okay, masculine. The feminine, ea, then becomes eos, ei, eam, ea, with the macron to distinguish from the nominative. Ei, earum, eis, eas, eis. Hey, look. Apart from the heteroclite and the nominative, it's got totally normal endings. I, arum, is, as, is. Check out the neuter. Id, that's just the English it, only English has a T and Latin has the D. That's about it. The letters are even made in the same place in the mouth, duh and ta. So we have id, eos, ei, id, because it's neuter. The accusative must be the same as the nominative. Eo, ea, orum, eis, ea, eis. So apart from id and id, because these had to be the same because they're neuter, as these had to be the same because it's neuter. We have the heteroclites, and then o, a, orum, is, a, is. Totally normal, second declension neuter, once you get past the heteroclite and the weird neuter id form. All right, so all together. Is, eos, ei, eum, eo, ei, eorum, eis, eos, eis. Ea, eos, ei, eam, ea, ea, earum, eis, eas, eis. Id, eos, ei, id, eo, ea, eorum, eis, ea, eis. And once again, this does not show a specific location. We're not pointing out whether he, she, or it, this or that masculine, feminine, or neuter thing is close by or far away. For close by things, we use the demonstrative hic. Hic, hike, hawk. This thing right here, plural, these things. If we talk about two things, like if you can have pizza and nachos, well, I prefer the latter, meaning the second thing, the nachos, over the former, the first thing named, pizza, where hic refers to the latest thing, the latter thing of the two things. So hick, hike, hawk, like the English word here, start with H. Hick, hike, hawk is right here. It's this thing right here. So we have hick, heteroclite huios. The dative huic, it's not hui, keeps that C, huic. Originally, this form used to be hike, and then it had a suffix, cek, and you declined this part. So that would be hui, hum, and ho. And it used to be huike, humke, and hoke. And it lost the e part, but the singulars kept the C. Hopefully this is helpful for you, but I have colored the C's blue and underlined them and bolded them as well. So you can see which forms retain the C, because that can be tricky. Hick, huios, huic, hunk, hok, he, horum, his, hos, his. All right, so in the plural, it's pretty cool. E, orum, is, os, is. It's that singular. That's all messed up. Feminine, hike, huios, huic, honk, hawk, hi, harum, his, has, his. Once again, the plural, it's a-okay. It's that singular that's weird. And the neuter, hawk, huios, huic, hawk, hawk, hike, horum, his, hike, his. And apart from the nominative and accusative plural neuter, plural's a-okay. So once again, watch out for the C's. It is still a heteroclite. And ille, illa, illud. So we have ille, meet the forebearer of the definite article in the Romance languages. Spanish el and los and la and las, and Italian and French as well. So this is ille. In the Middle Ages and medieval Latin, ille starts more and more beginning to be used as definite articles. So you start seeing it popping up in front of each noun. So ille amicus and illa femina and illud bellum. All right, so we have masculine ille, illius, illi, illum, illo, illi, illorum, illis, illos, illis. So apart from the heteroclite, it's pretty cool. Oh, and the nominative. Feminine illa, illius, illi, illam, illa, illae, illarum, illis, illas, illis. And the neuter illud, illius, illi, illud, illo, illa, illorum, illis, illa, illis. So ille refers to something that is far away from the speaker. It's far away from the speaker. All right, go over each of them once more so that you can refer back to them easily. Listen to this over and over and over again, and it should help you memorize the demonstratives. Starting with is, ea, id. Is, eus, ei, eum, eo, ei, eorum, eis, eos, eis. Ea, eus, ei, eam, ea, eai, earum, eis, eas, eis. Id, eus, ei, id, eo, ea, eorum, eis, ea, eis. Hic, huius, huic, hunc, hoc, he, horum, his, hos, his. Hike, huius, huic, hunc, hoc, hi, harum, his, has, his. Hoc, huius, huic, hoc, hoc. Hike, horum, his, hike, his. ille, illius, illi, illum, illo, illi, illorum, illis, illos, illis. Illa, illius, illi, illam, illa, illae, illarum, illis, illas, illis. Illud, illius, illi, illud, illo, illa, illorum, illis, illa, illis.